They were found shot to death in the bed of their truck during an overnight camping trip, and a disposable camera found at the scene contained these disturbing last known photos of them. This is the mysterious case of Brandon Rumbaugh and Lisa Gurrieri, and it's one that will never not terrify me. On October 17th, 2003, Brandon and Lisa would head out for an overnight camping trip in the small town of Bumble Bee, Arizona. The couple had recently got engaged, and they wanted to camp out underneath the stars to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. They lived together in Scottsdale, and originally they were going to go to Disneyland to celebrate, but it was too pricey. So last minute, they decided to recreate their first date and go camping instead. Lisa borrowed her mom's white 2000 F-150 truck and a video camera and told her that they would be back the next day. Now, Lisa's mom almost didn't let them borrow the truck because it was in need of an oil change, but again, last minute, she changed her mind and said it was okay. But she had no idea what was about to happen on this camping trip, or that it was about to become one of Arizona's most chilling unsolved mysteries. So their road trip started. The two had bought a disposable camera before leaving Scottsdale to document their trip, and about halfway there, Lisa's mom called them to see if they had made it to their destination yet. Lisa said no, and that they still had a long way to go, but at this point, everything seemed fine. Lisa's mom said be careful, in which Lisa replied, "I love you," and those were the last words that she would ever tell her mom. What happened after this phone call has never really been explained. So when the next day came and went, and nobody heard from Brandon or Lisa, Lisa's mom immediately knew that something was wrong. They never returned the truck and weren't answering phone calls, so she called everyone she knew and the police to begin looking for them. Brandon's friends knew of the general area where they were supposed to be because they had all gone camping up there before, so they began looking, but initially couldn't find anything. Then they traveled down Bumble Bee Road, just off of I-17, and that's when they spotted their truck. Upon getting closer, they found Brandon and Lisa in the bed of their truck, deceased. They were in their sleeping bags and had been shot multiple times in the head. When the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office arrived to the scene, they found 2 items were missing, which were Lisa's keys and the video camera that she had borrowed from her mom. But about 100 feet away from the crime scene, police found the couple's broken disposable camera. It looked like someone had thrown it, and on the camera were the very last photos ever taken of Brandon and Lisa. They were posing in the same bed of the truck that they were killed in. Now, according to Lisa's mom, this final photo of Lisa seems off. She said that this wasn't Lisa's true smile, and it was almost like she was scared and uncomfortable, but still trying to smile anyway. But there was one final photo taken on the camera, and it is really disturbing to me. The final photo taken on the camera is pretty overexposed, and you can really only make out the corner of the image. At first, authorities didn't know what the image was of, but they discovered that it was an image of the inside of an old restaurant in Bumble Bee. But what doesn't make sense to me is that this was taken after the final photos of the couple, meaning whoever took this picture was likely their killer, and it was taken after they were killed. This is really scary to me because it seems like if this is accurate, the killer took their camera from the crime scene, took the photo inside the restaurant for whatever reason, and then returned the camera to the crime scene. Why would anyone do all of that? It doesn't make sense to me, and it's one of the most disturbing things about this case. Police believe that Brandon and Lisa were either asleep or getting ready to go to sleep when they were attacked, and there was evidence that Lisa woke up at some point during the murders. There was one item found at the scene that contained DNA, possibly of the killer, but what that was has not been publicly identified. Police ruled out a murder-suicide, and there was no evidence of a robbery gone wrong or any sexual assault, and there were no drugs or alcohol involved in the killings either, so it's left many wondering what truly happened to them and why. This seems incredibly random, and it's terrifying. The area where they went camping, just off of Bumble Bee Road, is pretty popular now, but it wasn't back then. Their campsite was extremely desolate and in a pretty remote part of the desert near the Bradshaw Mountains. You would think that you would feel safe out there completely alone, but someone was lurking out there waiting for them, and it makes me wonder if this was a wrong place, wrong time type of situation. Maybe they saw something that they weren't supposed to see out there. It's really similar to the movie Wolf Creek, which is loosely based on the true story of Ivan Milat, who killed 7 people randomly as they backpacked through the remote wilderness. As much as they investigated, police never found who killed Brandon and Lisa. But one thing did come up early in the investigation that stood out to me. Just the night before they left on their trip, Brandon may have had an argument with an unknown man in the doorway of their apartment. It was around 10 p.m., and although the man has never been identified, he was reportedly in his 40s, tall and husky, and he was wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans. It's not known what they were arguing about or if they even knew each other. And just a month after the murders, police announced that they were looking for information about or from this person, but they never said if he was considered a suspect or not. Brandon and Lisa had no enemies. Since this was seemingly so random, many people have questioned if serial killer Israel Keyes could have been responsible. Israel Keyes murdered 11 people, but is suspected to have killed many more. He started in 1998 and never really had an MO. He targeted random people who just so happened to cross his path, and he would often strike in parks and campgrounds. He was active during the time that Brandon and Lisa were murdered, and one of the scariest things about Israel is that he would plant kill kits around the US that contained murder weapons, so he was truly random about who he killed. He didn't have a specific profile, but this is just a theory and has never been officially connected. Although their case is still open, it remains unsolved 21 years later, and whoever killed Brandon and Lisa is still out there.